In American history, the gold rush of 1849 is a tale of immense fortune and the lure of unimaginable wealth. In just 1 year, hundreds of thousands of adventurers flocked to California, seeking to strike it rich. By the following year, the gold mine in California was worth more than the entire federal budget of the United States. The rush for gold was so significant that California became the 31st state of the US in 1850. Before 1848, California was a remote and inhospitable land, mostly inhabited by Mexicans, Spanish descendants, and Native Americans. Among the few European immigrants, there was a German-Swiss man named John Augustus Sutter. After his company went bankrupt, he left his wife and children in Switzerland and ventured alone to the American West. He purchased a large tract of land in the Sacramento Valley, naming it Nueva Helvetica. He settled at the junction of the American and Sacramento rivers, and near the village of Coloma, he built a sawmill. It was here, on the morning of January 24th, 1848, that a carpenter named James Wilson Marshall, working at Sutter's mill, made an astonishing discovery. He found gold in the riverbed. Marshall was a partner at the mill, where Sutter provided the financial backing while Marshall ran the operations, receiving a quarter of the profits in return. On that fateful morning, while inspecting the mill's water wheel, Marshall noticed some shiny objects glimmering in the riverbed. He rushed over and found several yellow metal pieces. He picked up a few, and after further examination and hammering them against rocks, he realized they were malleable and durable. Definitely gold, Marshall later recalled. My heart was pounding because I knew it was gold. When he showed the gold to a worker at the mill, the man didn't believe it was gold. Marshall then showed a few pieces to his employer, Sutter. After testing the metal, Sutter confirmed it was indeed gold, and of a high purity, at least 23 carats. Shocked by the discovery, Sutter advised Marshall to keep it a secret, hoping to buy the land and the gold for himself. However, the news quickly spread. Soon, the workers at the mill knew about the gold secret, abandoning their jobs to search for gold. Marshall and Sutter could hardly contain the excitement, and by March, local newspapers, including the California Star, were reporting the discovery. By August, New York's Herald carried extensive coverage, and by June, the governor of California had informed President Polk that the gold deposits were valuable enough to cover the cost of the Mexican-American War. By December, President Polk publicly confirmed the findings, and the California gold rush was officially underway. The announcement caused a national stir, and waves of prospectors rushed westward to California, igniting a massive wave of immigration. As the California Star reported, from San Francisco to Los Angeles, from the coast to the Sierra Nevada foothills, the whole region was filled with cries, "Gold! Gold!" San Francisco, closest to the gold fields, felt the initial shock wave of the gold rush. Almost all businesses ceased operations. Sailors abandoned their ships in San Francisco Bay. Soldiers left their posts. Servants abandoned their employers. Farmers mortgaged their land. Workers threw down their tools. Even missionaries abandoned their pulpits. Everyone rushed to San Francisco, eager to strike it rich. Many of the prospectors left behind their families and homes, borrowing money or using their savings to pay for the journey to California. Women took over farming duties and cared for children. These dreamers, who hoped to become rich overnight, became known as the 49ers because they mostly arrived in 1849. In 1848, only about 6,000 people came to California for gold. By 1849, the gold rush exploded, and nearly 100,000 people arrived, many of them from all over the world, Europe, South America, and even China. Referred to San Francisco as Gold Mountain, the numbers were staggering. In 1848, California's population was less than 15,000. By 1852, just 4 years after the gold discovery, the population had multiplied tenfold. By 1855, over 300,000 adventurers were in California looking for gold, and countless merchants sprang up to capitalize on the opportunity. California's valleys and early mining. At first, the gold was easily accessible on the surface, so miners only needed a basic pan to sift through the sand and gravel. On average, a miner could make $20 a day, which was 20 times the daily wage of a worker in the East. In rich mining areas, some miners earned as much as $2,000 a day. Gold from all over flooded into San Francisco's warehouses, and America quickly became the world's leading gold producer. In 1847, the US produced only 43,000 ounces of gold, but by 1849, this had skyrocketed to 1.93 million ounces. By 1853, the height of the gold rush, California's gold output reached $65 million, and between 1851 and 1855, California produced nearly 45% of the world's gold. The United States had become the world's largest producer of gold. This flood of wealth transformed California, especially San Francisco, into a bustling, prosperous place. The influx of people created massive demand for services, but the supply couldn't keep up, leading to skyrocketing prices and countless opportunities to profit. One famous example is Levi Strauss. Originally a cloth merchant from New York, he used his surplus canvas to make pants for miners. To his surprise, these pants were incredibly popular, and over time, Strauss refined his designs, creating the iconic denim jeans that are still popular today. Another clever miner, named Emma, saw the shortage of drinking water in the mining camps and began wholesaling water to the miners, quickly making a fortune. The gold rush also led to a significant expansion of the money supply. As more gold flooded the market, the amount of currency in circulation soared. By 1855, US bank reserves had dwindled to just 14%, compared to 50% before 1837. There was even a guidebook published to help people navigate the many banks with low reserves, warning of unreliable financial institutions. Thousands of banknotes circulated through the currency market, and the stock market was flooded with railroad stocks. News spread across the country, and soon the entire nation felt the effects of the gold rush. By 1854, the gold rush began to cool off. As gold became harder to find on the surface, mining began to move underground. With technological advances, deeper and larger gold mines were discovered, and the industry grew more organized. Mining companies, run by businessmen, workers, and entrepreneurs, began to dominate the industry. The days of the individual prospector were over, as large mining companies took control of the gold-rich regions. By 1860, most of the easy-to-find gold had been extracted, and many towns were left deserted. California's population plummeted from 20,000 to just a few hundred. The once thriving gold rush towns became ghost towns. While the gold rush brought wealth to California and America, it didn't turn everyone into millionaires. Most prospectors left empty-handed, and many even lost everything. Both Marshall and Sutter, who first discovered gold, didn't profit from the gold rush. Marshall, broke and destitute, died in a humble house. After his death, various organizations pushed the state to build a monument to honor his contribution to the discovery of gold, and this monument became one of California's first memorials. During the gold rush, British companies became the sellers of shovels, profiting greatly from the booming mining industry. Why British? Two key reasons. Firstly, in the mid-19th century, the US was still an agricultural economy, lacking the capacity to manufacture key industrial products. Most mining equipment, as well as specific railroad tracks, were imported from Britain. Secondly, even industries in which the US could self-sustain, British capital was the main investor, ensuring profits flowed back to the UK. This economic influence of British enterprises remained even though America had already gained its political independence. By 1857, Wall Street was booming with profits from the gold rush, but as in every gold rush, some got rich overnight, while others were left destitute. A poet, George Francis Train, captured the story of his Wall Street days with a playful verse. On Monday, I was rich, buying real estate. By Tuesday, debts piled high, millions to pay. By Wednesday, I built a mansion full of gold. By Thursday, half my life seemed to unfold. By Friday, the ballrooms echoed with delight. By Saturday, I was bankrupt, penniless in flight.